You know, we're always told that if we want to improve our lives, we need to add more. More good habits, more ambitious goals, more hustle, right? But what if the real secret to growth isn't about adding, but about taking things away? That's what we're diving into today, the art of subtraction. I mean, really think about it for a second. Is your idea of self-improvement just a to-do list that gets longer and longer every day? We're kind of programmed to think that more is always the answer, but that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how our minds find real clarity and, peace. And that right there is the core idea. There are things in your life right now that are running in the background, just quietly draining your energy and your focus. By getting rid of them, you literally create the space you need for what actually matters. So, let's get into it. Here's the first of 9 things to quietly remove from your life. First up, this constant, totally exhausting need to be understood by everyone. We feel like it's so important that people get us, but in reality, it's a massive energy leak. You're burning so much mental fuel trying to manage other people's perceptions of you. And there's actually a name for this: social validation dependency. It basically means your sense of peace is completely tied to what other people think. But the second you can accept that, hey, most people probably won't fully get you, and that's okay, that's the moment you get all that mental freedom back. Your energy comes back home to you. And that leads us straight into number 2. As you evolve, you're going to outgrow people. It's just inevitable. And man, this one can come with a ton of guilt. It feels like you're betraying them, or maybe betraying the old version of yourself that they were comfortable with. This feeling, this friction, it's got a name: identity dissonance. It's that awkward clash you feel when someone says, "Wow, you've changed." And the thing is, you're supposed to change. That feeling of dissonance isn't a bad sign. It's proof that you've successfully broken out of an old loop. Just let this one sink in for a minute. Never apologize for evolving beyond your environment. Your growth is not a betrayal, it's a victory. Okay, number 3 is a sneaky one that a lot of us do without even thinking about it: the habit of constantly explaining ourselves. It's basically this leftover survival software from a time when being rejected by the group was a real danger. But today, it mostly just works against you. So here's the key takeaway. Every time you over-explain, you're creating what's called an emotional leakage. You're giving away your power. The fix? Just say less. You don't owe everyone a detailed report. Let your silence do the talking. You'll be amazed how much people respect what they don't fully understand. All right, next. This one is massive in our world today. The totally uncontrolled fire hose of digital input we deal with every single day. That infinite scroll on your phone? It's not just a time waster. It's actively rewiring your brain, dulling your dopamine receptors, and making the real world feel kind of gray and boring. So what's the fix? Well, it's not some dramatic public "I'm leaving social media" announcement. It's a quiet detox. You unfollow the accounts that make you feel like you're not enough. You mute the conversations that just drain you. You unsubscribe from all those emails you never open. Protect your focus like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because you know what? It is. Coming in at number 5, let's talk about those conversations that just go absolutely nowhere. Oh, you know the ones I'm talking about. The ones where you can literally feel the other person isn't listening. They're just waiting for a gap so they can talk. You walk away feeling totally empty. This actually has a term: conversational narcissism. And once you can put a name to it, you can start spotting it. And the minute you can spot it, you get to decide if you want to keep playing that game. Stop pouring your energy into people who only listen to reply. You'll find that saving your words is way more fulfilling. All right, number 6. This one's a little more subtle. It's that deep, nagging fear of being seen as boring. This fear is what drives what we call impression management. It's this constant, exhausting performance where you're trying to be the person you think other people will find interesting. But here's the crazy paradox. Right? Real social magnetism doesn't come from a performance. It comes from being authentic. The second you stop trying so hard to be interesting is the exact moment you actually become magnetic. You start attracting peace instead of just attention. Okay, number 7. Let's talk about the need for closure. We get so fixated on this idea that we need that one last conversation, that final explanation to move on. But the truth is, a lot of the time, closure is just a story we tell ourselves we need. It's an illusion. When you're chasing closure, what you're really trying to do is escape something called cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable feeling of not having all the answers. But here's a radical idea. Real strength isn't about finding every single answer. It's about building the ability to live peacefully in the middle of the questions. Number 8. This one is a trap that so many of us, especially high achievers, fall right into, using self-criticism as a motivator. We think that being hard on ourselves is what drives us to do better, but the actual science? It shows the complete opposite is true. That inner critic just floods your brain with stress hormones and makes it almost impossible to learn. Just look at this shift. It's so simple, but it's profound. Changing your inner voice from "I'm not enough" to "I'm learning" isn't just playing with words. You are literally rewiring your brain's reward system, shifting it away from fear and into a state of growth. And that brings us to our last one, number 9. And this one might be the quietest and most destructive of them all. It's that constant, low-level hum in the back of your mind, the urge to prove that you are worthy. So often this comes from way back, from learning that love and acceptance were tied to what you could achieve. This is it. This is the truth you need to let land. Your worth is not a negotiation. It's a given. You don't have to earn your right to take up space, to rest, to just be. You deserve it simply because you are here. So, what actually happens when you start removing these things? Well, at first, it's going to feel weird. Your brain is so used to the constant noise that silence feels kind of empty. It's wired to find comfort in familiar pain. But as you stick with it, your mind starts to recalibrate. It starts to reward the calm and clarity that shows up instead. And this is the reward. This is what you get back from all that subtraction. Your decisions start to feel cleaner, sharper. Silence stops being something you need to fill and starts being a tool for thinking. Being alone feels like a choice, like restoration, not like a punishment. And your focus finally belongs to you again. Which leaves us with the final and really the most important question of all. Once you've cleaned out all that noise that was never yours in the first place, now that your mind is truly your own, what are you going to do with it?